From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now all the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Tuesday, May 25th. Another hot day in store. It's going to be a little windy by this afternoon. Then there will be some clouds moving in tonight and have some rain chances for tomorrow. But today we're going to get into the upper 80s. And as of today, it's been a year since George Floyd's murder in police custody. Since then, the country has seen protests and a push for racial justice. The White House press secretary says the Biden administration will put out a statement marking the day that, quote, certainly impacted the president personally and impacted millions of Americans. On the day of the arrest, officers were called to a local convenience store. As I'm sure you'll remember, it was after a report about the use of a fake $20 bill. Then former police officer Derek Chauvin was found kneeling on Floyd's neck while restrained, handcuffed, and face down on a Minneapolis street. Chauvin had his knee on Floyd's neck and back for more than 9 minutes as Floyd said he couldn't breathe. The White House says President Biden has spoken to members of the family on a few occasions over the past year.
He has a genuine relationship with them, and the courage and grace of this family, and especially his daughter Gianna, has really stuck with the president.
Chauvin was convicted of 2 counts of murder and 1 count of manslaughter in April. He could face up to 40 years in prison for second-degree murder, up to 25 years for third-degree murder, and up to 10 years for manslaughter. Now, the Chauvin has no prior criminal record. Minnesota's sentencing guidelines recommend about 12 and a half years in prison for each murder charge and about 4 years for the manslaughter charge. Chauvin's sentence is set for June 25th. A state trial for the other 3 former Minneapolis police officers accused of aiding and abetting the murder of Floyd, that's been pushed to March 7th of next year, 2022. That's so a federal trial and civil rights charges can take place first. All 3 former officers have pleaded not guilty. Prosecutors have also appealed to reinstate a third-degree murder charge against them. And the death of George Floyd sparked protests all across the country, as I'm sure you'll remember. We had video that day coming into our newsroom from Louisiana, New York City, Georgia, and, of course, here in Indiana. People walked in the streets carrying signs saying, "I can't breathe." Downtown Indianapolis saw the addition of signs encouraging people to vote, too. Protest organizers used the opportunity to encourage change by getting people to the polls. Local sports stars like Tamika Catchings and Laval Jordan joined in on the marches. The city also saw 2 nights of riots downtown. Windows were broken, stores looted, dumpsters were set on fire. The Marion County prosecutor says in total, 25 people faced charges after those riots. Many of the demonstrations called for national policing legislation. And President Biden is putting pressure on lawmakers on Capitol Hill to reach an agreement on police reform legislation. Lawmakers involved in police reform negotiations say that lawmakers have made meaningful progress.
What the baseline has to be in this country is that we'll get transparency and accountability in instances like this. And the president is committed to seeing that happen.
President Biden initially hoped that lawmakers could craft a compromise by today, but lawmakers are still far apart in their views on how to deal with qualified immunity, which shields police officers from civil lawsuits. The Justice Department is investigating the policing practices in the Minneapolis Police Department. The DOJ will examine the use of force by police officers, including during protests, and whether the department engages in discriminatory practices. The investigation will also look into the handling of the misconduct allegations and the department's treatment of people with behavioral health issues and current systems of accountability. And a new poll looks at whether people perceive changes in the country in the year since George Floyd's death. Axios Ipsos asks, do you agree with the following statement? Our country has made the changes needed to give Black Americans equal rights with white Americans. 1,875 people answered. And there are sharp differences among racial lines. 6% of Black respondents, 32% of Hispanics, and 29% of Asians answered yes. Almost half of white respondents feel the changes have happened. A breakdown of that number shows a clear political divide. 79% of white Republicans say the country has changed. 12% of white Democrats feel that it has. The CDC is investigating some reports of heart inflammation in teenagers and young adults who received the COVID-19 vaccine. It's called myocarditis. It's usually caused by viruses. A new report from the CDC says the few reports were after the Pfizer or Moderna vaccines. The agency found the disease more often in males, typically within 4 days of vaccination. And a member of the FDA Vaccine Advisory Committee says parents should not be too concerned.
It's not all that uncommon. It occurs about 10 to 20 per 100,000 people per year. So when you've vaccinated millions and millions of people, there are going to be people who will get myocarditis, whether they would have gotten the vaccine or not.
According to the report, most cases of inflammation seem to be mild. The agency is following up on the reports. And U.S. health officials and the State Department are urging Americans to avoid any travel to Japan. The warning comes just 2 months before the start of the Summer Olympics in Tokyo. Many parts of the country are still under a state of emergency because of the coronavirus. Japan's vaccine rollout is still in its earliest stages. An estimated 2 to 4% of people in Japan are vaccinated. The United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee believes American athletes will be able to safely travel to Japan and compete in the Olympics. The games are set to begin July 23rd. And this morning, we at News 8 are still looking for some answers from health leaders about whether and how they will enforce mask rules at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's prompted by pictures of people not wearing masks where required. The Marion County Health Department sent a statement saying the rules are not changing. It says, quote, these protocols, which will continue to be in effect through race weekend, include spacing between customer pods, masks required in all areas, including the paddock, which is over 90% vaccinated, mask ambassadors in the grandstands, in addition to health department staff present at the race, readily available PPE. Now, the health department did not offer an explanation about enforcement of the rules. We did get video at the Speedway showing fans in the stands during qualifying weekend, many of them not wearing masks. IMS President Doug Boles says the rules are clear. Everyone should wear a mask. And you can drop the mask if you're outside on Purdue's campus. The university lifted its mandate on outdoor face coverings. Masks had been required when social distancing wasn't possible. You will still need to wear a mask indoors. School officials have said that some campus activities and travel may require proof of vaccination. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Israel. He's visiting leaders in Israel, the West Bank, Jordan, and Egypt. Blinken got off a plane in Tel Aviv early this morning. The goal is to help lay the groundwork for peace talks between Israel and Hamas. Blinken and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu just spoke about the ceasefire in the region.
We need to work together to expand normalization between Israel and Arab and the Muslim world and deepen the peace treaties that we already have. We discussed also how to improve the lives and the conditions of the Palestinians.
We know that to prevent a return to violence, we have to use the space created to address a larger set of underlying issues and challenges. And that begins with tackling the grave humanitarian situation in Gaza and starting to rebuild.
The two sides agreed to a ceasefire last week. The European Union is banning flights from airlines in Belarus. It's in a response to the grounding of a Ryanair plane by Belarusian authorities so they could detain a journalist. Roman Protasevich is a vocal critic of the president of Belarus. Pro-government social media accounts shared video of him in a detention center in Minsk. In it, Protasevich appears to be acknowledging wrongdoing, but there are questions about whether he was forced to speak. The EU is demanding Belarus release Protasevich immediately. And this morning, we were following breaking news out of Las Vegas. Investigators are trying to figure out why a plane crashed at a Navy base, killing the pilot. Officials say a contractor was operating the plane when it went down in a neighborhood near the base yesterday afternoon. The pilot was the only one on board. There's damage to homes on the ground, but it's not clear yet if anybody on the ground was hurt. Police now say road rage is what led to the death of a 6-year-old boy in Southern California. Authorities say Aiden Leos was sitting in his booster seat in a car with his mom Friday morning when shots from another car hit him. Investigators say they don't know what happened in the moments leading up to the shooting, so they're asking for help. The boy's older sister describes an anguishing scene.
And he said, "Mommy, my tummy hurts." So she went and she picked him up. And he was bleeding on her.
It's just a horrific story. California Highway Patrol is trying to find anyone who might have dash cam video of the shooter's car. There's also a GoFundMe that you can find to help the family with the funeral expenses and for ongoing therapy to deal with the trauma of all of this after the little boy is buried. And a missing fisherman in Oregon is alive. He survived the wilderness for 17 days. Harry Burley was reported missing on May 7th when he didn't return home from a camping trip. Search crews discovered Burley yesterday afternoon. According to the sheriff's department, he was able to walk, but did complain of some minor pain. Back here locally, Central Indiana, a candy shop owner in Anderson says he is undeterred in a new Facebook post. It appears to be a response to a controversial job posting made on the Goods Candy Shop Facebook page late last week. Owner Randy Good describes job expectations, but also talks about what he considers bad work behavior. That includes something he describes as splitting. Good writes that it is, quote, is a behavior of girls, young mostly but not always, usually taught by their mothers. This is the person who talks about others in an attempt to split people apart and feel better about themselves. He also writes, boys seldom practice this. They just duke it out. News 8 spoke with some people who had different takes on the post.
Basically, he's trying to hire people, but at the same time, you're talking bad about them. Like, it doesn't even make sense. You know, and most of the time, girls work there, you know?
To a certain extent, I agree with what I saw. It's harder to get younger people to appreciate what I went through, my parents went through.
News 8 did reach out to Randy Good to talk more about the job posting. He declined to do an interview with us. A new report shows Indiana is struggling with health care, education, and new businesses. The Indiana Chamber of Commerce released the Indiana Vision 2025 report card. It compares all 50 states on 70 metrics split in 4 areas: outstanding talent, attractive business climate, superior infrastructure, and dynamic and creative culture. The report shows Indiana ranks in the top 10 in 7 metrics, but has 10 rankings of 40th or worse. Indiana improved in 22 rankings, one being a 2-year increase of people with access to high-speed internet. But the state is lagging in health with a smoking rate of 19.2%, which is 40th in the nation. And now to some business headlines. Netflix is looking to create some sort of game subscription service similar to Apple Arcade. Reportedly, they've already started looking for games industry executives to poach. According to the information, Netflix has approached a number of veteran game industry executives about joining the company. The report says Netflix is exploring launching an Apple Arcade-style bundle of games with no ads. Netflix executives have said that they would like to expand interactive entertainment options. Gorillas, a Germany speedy grocery delivery service, will set up its first U.S. store in Brooklyn. They deliver groceries in 10 minutes. It plans to launch delivery in other major U.S. cities by the end of the summer. Gorillas operates micro warehouses that serve a tight delivery radius and rely on a fleet of couriers riding electric bikes. United Airlines is giving travelers a chance to win a year of free flights to anywhere in the world that it flies in exchange for getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Frequent flyers in the airline's Mileage Plus program can upload their vaccination records to a mobile app or website until June 21st. On July 1st, the airline will announce the 5 Mileage Plus members who won a year of travel for themselves and a companion. Verizon is offering customers free Apple Arcade or Google Play Pass for up to a year. Starting today, customers who pay for the Play More Unlimited and Get More Unlimited plans get 12 months of either app subscription service for free, while all other unlimited plans get 6 months. It is worth noting that both free options are longer than the ones Apple or Google offer themselves. Americans planning to get out and camp this Memorial Day weekend may find it difficult to find a spot alone. Global e-commerce company Pattern says consumer demand this spring for camping tents is up 97% compared to the same period in 2020 and up 85% compared to 2019, indicating consumers should be bracing for what might be the busiest camping season ever. And now to some 500 coverage. You know the slogan and tradition, winners drink milk. The beloved Indy 500 staple returns to the track this year in full force. On the podcast yesterday, we talked about what type of milk the drivers preferred. Today, we're going to hear from the people who delivered on race day. Last year, due to the pandemic, only the veteran milk person was allowed at the race, not the rookie. Now, it's back to both being there. The veteran milk person and rookie milk person are responsible for getting that trophy of perfectly chilled milk to the winner, owner, and crew chief. This time, the same veteran from the 2020 race, Jill Huen, is doing the job for a second year in a row. Now she'll finally be able to train the rookie, Tim Haynes. Both say they know the wait will be worth it.
I am so excited to do it again. The reason is I got to celebrate and be super excited with the winner last year. And then to show Tim the excitement level and celebrate with that winner again. I'm so humbled. I'm excited.
And I'm probably more excited because, last year it didn't work out for me to be involved. Like I said, I celebrated from home when they, drank the milk. But, this year, Jill's showing me what I need to know, and I'm looking forward to next year having the opportunity to pass the drink to the winning driver.
The milk tradition started in 1936 when IMS's legendary Indy 500 winner Louis Meyer drank buttermilk in the victory lane after a race. And for the most part, it's been an Indy 500 staple ever since. Now, a new tradition started last year. The dairy farmers had everyone at home pour a cup of milk and toast with the winner after the race. So maybe that's something that you'll want to do this year as well. And some kids got to face off against two IndyCar drivers in a robot race. Riley Hospital for Children helped coordinate the event yesterday. Joseph Newgarden and Will Power were at IMS while the children were at Riley. The drivers and patients used remote control robots to race each other. Power says it's a great way to get young ones excited about the Indy 500.
It's really cool to, do something for the kids that are in hospital and actually make their afternoon a bit of fun. Getting to race us and then getting to watch us on TV on Sunday. So
the event was all virtual this year because of the pandemic. In the past, drivers would meet with patients in person at the hospital. Pietro Fittipaldi is getting honored for being the fastest rookie in the field of 33. The American Dairy Association Indiana will host a virtual ceremony to give its fastest rookie award to Fittipaldi today. He went more than 230 miles per hour during qualifications to clinch a fifth-row spot for Sunday's race. The young driver is looking to follow in his grandfather's tire tracks. Emerson Fittipaldi is a two-time winner of the Indy 500. And in Pacers news, direct questions and answers for team president Kevin Pritchard. News 8's Olivia Ray asked him if the team will change coaches and what Nate Bjorkgren needs to change if he stays.
In this year, I would say the most unique and challenging that I've ever been a part of.
President Kevin Pritchard put a cap on the Pacers season, citing the challenges that came with playing through a pandemic, the struggles of losing your leading scorer among a slew of other injuries, and of course, the difficult decision hovering over the head coaching position.
Right now, no decisions have been made. And look, to be honest with you, I'm being evaluated. He is our coach as of now, and I'm going to have a fair discussion with them. I'm not committed either way.
So the future at the Fieldhouse is still uncertain, but Pritchard was pretty transparent in his concerns with first-year head coach Nate Bjorkgren, who went 34-38, had a losing record at home, and had a team with a suspected disconnect.
In the exit meetings, no one said that they were unhappy. Yes, they say he does micromanage. And so I've got a young coach who's got some super talent in X and O's, but needs some improvement in human management.
So while we keep an eye on that hot seat, we're also monitoring roster turnover because Pritchard seems committed to consistency, which could mean a continuation of this year's team.
Hopefully there's opportunities to get better. We don't want to go backwards. I don't want to be in this sort of middle ground. And so I'd like to get either in or get out, and getting out means looking for picks. And I'm not prepared to do that. I think we've got enough talent that we can sort of work our way back up the top, but that's yet to be seen.
So with that, the offseason is off and running for the Pacers front office. Olivia Ray, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
And finally, Peyton Manning and Edgerrin James will be back in Indianapolis this season. The duo will receive their Hall of Fame rings on week 2 when the Colts host the LA Rams September 19th. James was selected to the 2020 Hall of Fame class. Manning is part of this year's class. Both will be enshrined into the Hall of Fame in August. Together, they played 20 total seasons in Indianapolis. And we checked this morning, tickets for the game are still available. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.